Greetings wherever you are, and welcome to the Ministry of Propaganda. I'm your intern host, Richard Nixon, and these are the top stories of the week from around the world. We got a real mess on our hands, folks. A bunch of top-secret Pentagon documents have been leaked on social media, exposing the U.S.'s deep penetration into Russia's military and intelligence services. And if that's not bad enough, it looks like we're spying on our closest allies, too, including Ukraine, Israel, and South Korea. Sure, we've been able to pass on crucial intel to Ukraine, but now that we've exposed our sources, they're in even deeper trouble. And don't even get me started on how this leak is screwing up our relationships with our allies. On Friday, investigators in the U.S. arrested a 21-year-old man in connection with the leak. The man, Jack Teixeira, was a member of the intelligence wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard, and he oversaw an online gaming group of racist, God and gun-loving teenagers, where he thought it would be a good idea to share the top-secret documents. Great job, Teixeira. Those distinguished gentlemen, Rich and Chris, will be going into the contents of the leaked secret documents in detail in just a moment. In stranger news, the Dalai Lama, of all people, apologized after a video surfaced online showing him kissing a boy on the lips and then saying to the child, "Suck my tongue. I mean, what the heck, Dolly? A creepy old man." President Biden is in Ireland this week. President Biden's 5-day visit to Northern Ireland and Ireland is filled with sentimental Irishness, but is he actually doing anything diplomatic? He'll be celebrating the Good Friday Agreement, which ended sectarian violence 25 years ago. Let's hope he's not just there for the photo ops. Meanwhile, this week, China has been busy with their military exercises for the past few days around Taiwan. And it looks like it's their response to the visit of Taiwan's President, Tsai Ing-wen, to the U.S. They're doing air and sea combat drills on all sides of Taiwan, and they're even having a live fire exercise near Pingtan, a Chinese island facing Taiwan. Taiwan reports that China sent 71 military aircraft around the island, including 45 that crossed the median line in the Taiwan Strait. They usually don't do that. Macron visited China this week, too, along with some Ursula something or other EU leader. The French leader is not playing along with the U.S. efforts to put China in check. Macron's European priorities are different from the U.S.'s. And, of course, he drew flack for saying that Taiwan is not Europe's problem. The guy is trying too hard to be independent, and it's not working out too well. He's even suggesting that Europe can't be a vassal of the U.S. on issues about Taiwan's security. Yeah, right. Someone might remind him of the thousands of protesters marching and burning trash in France against his pension plan. Speaking of which, the Constitutional Court in France on Friday just approved those very pension reforms. Will this lead to more protests? Macron, my Dan, only time will tell. On the economic side of things, the IMF cuts its forecast for global growth yet again. Japan, Germany, and India are all expected to experience lower growth, while Chinese state media reports that Tesla will build a factory in Shanghai to make megapacks, its large-scale batteries. Apparently, China is also leading in the race for the next big thing in rechargeable batteries. They want to replace lithium with sodium, which is way cheaper and abundant. Good for them. Shareholders are gathering in Washington for the annual spring meeting of the World Bank. A.J. Banga, expected to be confirmed as the bank's president. He better be ready to answer some tough questions about how he's going to use the bank to tackle climate change. And he's from the developing world. Big whoop. We'll see if that actually makes any difference. Banga has to walk a fine diplomatic line. He better not trip up because he's been nominated by the Biden administration to weaken China's influence in the developing world. Turning to some news from Africa, the two generals ruling Sudan after a coup 18 months ago are supposed to hand over power to a civilian government this week. Let's hope they actually do it and don't find some way to cling to power. And in Yemen, a new round of talks to end 8 years of civil war is made more interesting by the surprise rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran, who have been backing opposing sides in the conflict. Let's see if they can actually come to an agreement and bring some peace to the region. Speaking of peace and conflict, North Korea also fired a ballistic missile this week, just to remind us they're still around. And finally, there was a deadly bombing attack in rebel-held territory in Myanmar. Apparently, it's the worst since the junta seized power in a coup last year. At least 100 people, including 30 children, are confirmed dead. Will the violence in Myanmar ever end? It's unimaginable to me that someone could carelessly drop bombs in Southeast Asia. Well, that's all from me for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now, over to our hosts, Rich and Chris. This is the Ministry of Propaganda, helping you think.